So what about now? So what do you train for now? What would you say the main goal is now? Is it longevity? Is it well-being?
Yes,
Is
yeah.
it aesthetic still?
Yes, I'd say, yeah, definitely, all of them. So basically, when I'm out part-time on the Shine, I listen to podcasts. And I found just listening to music a bit boring. So I listen to podcasts, and I'm always you're trying to better yourself, aren't you? So health and fitness was in, and I started listening to Ben Greenfield about, I'd say 6 years ago now,
Okay.
5-6 years ago, and just picking up things from him really. And basically there was like 5-6 things which he constantly seemed to repeat over each podcast, which would come through. And within a couple of years, I stopped listening to him because it was the same 5-6 things you could get, which was sunlight every day, getting out in the sunlight every day, especially first thing in the morning. And off the back of that, I used red light therapy.
Yeah.
So I've got a Juve light, which I go on not as often as I should. You can do it first thing in the morning or at night.
Do you use that every day or just like post-injury,
You should
post-recovery?
do it every day.
Every day, okay.
20 minutes, no more than that.
Right. There's some real good benefits to
It
red light
is
therapy.
huge.
Yeah, it's really,
I got it because I had arthritis in my wrist, which was why I was looking at different versions to help that. And I've ended up going with a red light, but it's good for your skin, your hair. Basically, it re-energizes the mitochondria in your cells, and that's good for your whole body. Yeah. So whether it's recovering from injury, whether it's just making yourself look better, or even for me with the testosterone. So you stand in front of it naked, red light on your balls, it increases your testosterone. Okay. And he did a test where he increased his 3 times more than it originally was.
Just from exposure to red light? Just
from exposure from red light, really 20 minutes every morning he was doing it. So that was massive. I was like, right.
Gonna get that, yeah.
There's nothing bad, nothing negative. So I do the red light. I don't do it every day, I'll be honest. I did, and I need to get back into that. It's one habit that I've slipped off. I probably do it 3 times a week, normally before I go to bed. And I have noticed I sleep much better.
What, after doing it?
I wear a Whoop band now, and I sleep. My deep sleep goes up after I've done red light therapy.
Okay, that's interesting.
If I do red light therapy 20 minutes before I go to bed, then go straight to bed, really I sleep deeper. So that's a definite benefit to that. The other thing is fasting, and again, this goes back to boxing. I remember Marvin Hagler saying he fights hungry, and that always stuck with me. I always remember thinking animals go on the hunt when they're hungry. And that always stuck in my head from when I was young. So when I started boxing, when I go for my runs, I would never eat beforehand. Yeah. And I've found that I ran faster. Well,
our focus goes through the roof with fasting, doesn't it? I mean, you go into hunter-gatherer mode.
Yes.
And it comes back to our primal kind of thinking. So your focus, I don't know, I think I touched on it on a previous episode, but if you haven't trained, fasted, go and do it.
Yeah.
It is better than any pre-workouts and all that kind of stuff you get out there. The stimulation and the focus you can have is really unreal.
Well, I don't really train without being fasted. So normally, so my rough routine now is I get up. So this morning, for example, I've done it. I've got up this morning. I've got a plunge pool outside, same as yourself. And I literally go in that cold plunge pool, 2 minutes. Mine was for lumitherapy, so same as your one. You just sit in there for 2 minutes. And I love it. And I've been doing that religiously now since last summer I started. Okay. It's been cold when we had the cold spell, I must admit.
We were talking about that, weren't we?
I mean, you've done really well with it. And in fact, when you were a bit of an inspiration back to me. So you said about inspiring things from this. Yeah. You actually inspired me because I went in it, I had to break the ice, got in it, and for the first time ever, I struggled to do the 2 minutes. In fact, all I did, I'll be honest, I think I lasted 30 seconds. Dunked myself down, I got out and my head was like, because and I got out and my feet, and anyway, and then I think I spoke to you at work or whatever, and you showed me that you'd been doing it as well.
Yeah.
And you were doing it for 2 minutes. I thought, shit, I've been doing this for ages. I'm supposed to be one of the main people doing this stuff, and Pete's coming in, he's just done 2 minutes and he's broken the ice. So it inspired me the next time to do it.
Nice to hear, mate.
And I put the things on because it was my feet that were killing me.
Yeah, I remember you saying your feet.
Yeah, and do you know what? It's good because I like a challenge, and if someone has that competitive side of me, so I think, he's doing it every day. I'm making sure I'm not going to bottle out.
It's good, mate. Whatever you can.
Yeah, and it's good, and I've stuck with that, and I've done that. So this morning I've got up, I've done that. I mean, it is warmer now, but it still gives me the same buzz. I literally jump out. I've got a bit of OCD and I think so. 22 is when the day I was born, so I always do things in 22. So I literally get out, do it for 2 minutes, and I get out. I'll do 22 press ups.
Okay.
22 sort of like sprinting on the spot,
Yeah.
high knees, get my heart rate right up. 22 burpees done.
And then done.
And I do it. Got like out in my garden. Do that every morning. That's just a thing.
So your neighbours will think you're crazy, just like me.
Yeah.
I see them peering at my window.
Oh, right.
Going, what is he doing? I like standing around because I think I listen to Andrew Hoodman. I don't get to listen. I don't get to listen to long podcasts. That's why.
Only thing with him, I'll give you a little tip: put him on 1.5% because he frustrates the hell.
Oh, is he really slow?
Yeah, he speaks slowly.
Yeah.
And he's got some really good points.
You have to speed him up.
Oh, mate. He's better off having him on someone like Joe Rogan or something like that and listening to what he has to say rather than going on his actual podcast.
Okay, I've got you.
Because
generally I only see like 5-minute clips.
Oh, that's probably the best way.
I don't see the whole.
I used to listen to all of them, but
he was talking about trying not to grab a towel at the end and try and let your body. It forces your body to try and. The metabolism goes through the roof because it's trying to warm itself up.
Exactly. So now I still feel cold. So I've come round here today and I still got that little cold.
Have you heard that song that's doing around as well? Like people keep sending to me about not finding your penis till midday. Have you not seen it?
No.
I'll show you afterwards. But that usually comes around midday-ish when I start to feel that again. But I tend to feel. I feel like some days are better than others. When there's a wind out there as well, you can really notice it.
100%. Yeah.
But sometimes the fear of the ice or getting in a plunge isn't as bad as standing outside.
Yeah,
I try and do at least a minute outside.
And I don't know if you've done the same. For me now, like even this morning it was raining when I got in it. Put my shorts on, and then I find myself doing other little jobs. And it's just cold. I go out to do something in the garden, pick up the dog poo, whatever it is, and then it's cold, and so my body's getting used to it. And then I'll stand in it up to there for about 20 seconds. And then it's starting to, like this morning it was raining and I thought, actually I just bored me, just get in it.
Yeah, just get in it. Yeah.
So I do that every morning and I don't eat before 12. So this morning I've got up. The other thing I have is a mushroom coffee.
Okay.
So I have a mushroom coffee every morning. It's got lion's mane and chaga in it. I do that again for my brain. Obviously doing boxing for 25 years, only had 10 fights, but hundreds, thousands of rounds of sparring. Yeah. And that's where all the damage is done.
Yeah.
And I look back as well, all the amount of headaches I used to have, and I probably just got on with it and thinking about it, it's probably concussion all the time. Do you know what I mean?
I can imagine.
So my memory's really bad with names, especially. I know everyone says it when they get older, but I've really noticed it. So I have lion's mane and chaga in this coffee, and I have that every morning. So I'll get up, I'll take 5 amino acids, the essential ones, not branch chains, because I don't believe, like bengreenfield always talks about them, essentials, branch chains aren't worth anything. So if you are taking branch chains, bomb them off and get the essential ones, and that's just the same. Basically, you're getting up a pure protein. So
it's the three. It's the three that your body can't make, isn't it?
Yeah. So I have the essentials of that. I have 5 of them, bang, and I'll have like I don't drink tap water. I haven't drank tap water for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, really about
we've got
an alkaline filter. What have you got?
No, I just buy bottled water.
Okay, bottled water.
And I have got the hydrogen water thing where I pour it into there and do the hydrogen thing. Still not sure if that's. Not sure if that actually is a thing and it really is good. I've heard a lot of positives, which is why I got it. And but then I've heard a few people saying it doesn't make any difference, so I'm not sure. But I do take that anyway. I love that. Then I'll make myself a coffee, and then I'll get changed, put the tracksuit on, take my dog out for a walk. I'll take the dogs out for a walk. Again, you're outside, exposure to the sunlight, and my body's starting to warm up. Then trying to warm itself up from the cold plunge, and I normally have my coffee in my hand. I'll drink my coffee, walk the dogs, bit of time to yourself, come back, and then I'll start my day, whatever it is. If I've got to shoot off to work, fire brigade, or like today, if I'm going to do other things, I'll normally pack my gym bag and I might try and go to the gym or whatever I've got to do. If I'm window cleaning, whatever, I'll go out, do that for the day, and then I'll come back and I'll go to the gym about 4 o'clock and try and get my weights in. I try and do weights 5 times a week.
Right, is that circuit style like you've done before, keeping your heart rate
No,
up?
and that's what I might go back to. Funny enough, you'll be saying that my intensity has dropped. So I'm still doing weights because I think that's really important. I'm sure you've had other people on who train in the gym and do weights and that. And obviously they talk about muscle, keeping your muscle on as you get older is this a massive thing for longevity.
Yeah. It's the muscle loss as you get older.
Yes, and for longevity, the people that kept more muscle on have lived longer, etc. So I'm doing that. So trying to keep that up every day, and I'll do my weights there. And then the other thing I really enjoy is a sauna. and you've got the hot heat shock proteins. So when you finish weights, it's been proven now you shouldn't have cold water therapy afterwards because it actually stops the hemolytic response. So you want to have a sauna, and I think 10 to 15% improves your workout. So it basically releases a heat shock protein, which helps boost your muscle growth.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that. Just because you with sport it's different. So the recovery ice bath, if you're playing football or doing triathlons or boxing, etc., you want to reduce the inflammation, don't you?
Yeah.
So you want to reduce the soreness so you can go again. So I can see where that comes in. But when you're trying to build muscle, repair muscle, you don't want to have the cold.
No,
you want to keep that swell, if you like.
Yes,
you want to keep
right.
that blood and the nutrients there in that muscle so they can get to it and work on it as soon as possible. So okay, so you do a lot. What about supplements? Like I'm a big fan of natural stuff, so I take turmeric and stuff. Himalayan salt, Celtic salt.
Yeah. So in my house, that's all we've got. Is again, you're talking about the kids. It runs down onto the kids.
Yeah.
So now, like they drink bottled water. They don't drink tap water. I mean, listen, they will sometimes go and go, but we always have bottled water in the house. So they'll grab a bottled water.
They'll take off what that is.
Boys going to football or rugby, he takes a big bottled water off every year and just drinks that. It's convenient, I suppose, as well. But all the salt in our house is Himalayan sea salt. Yeah, the pink salt. No sugar in any of our drinks. None of us have that. Yeah. Butter, I have normal butter. So I don't have margarine. It's
just proper butter.
Yeah. What other supplements? Have the essential aminos. I have tried loads over the past. I actually went with a company that takes your bloods and then makes a multivitamin for what.
I remember you telling about it. It's a specific one. Yeah.
So I did that. It just ended up being too expensive. It was like £100 a month, which is a lot in the end. So I did it for 3 months. And again, did I notice a difference? It's hard to say. I had the bloods done again at the end, and the certain levels that were low had moved up, but I didn't feel much different.
There's a big difference between that and buying some kind of off the shelf.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother with that now. I have done in the past, the old Holland and Barrett stuff, but if you look, the amount you're getting is so minuscule and it's not as good quality. The only other thing I found that I used to is the seeds. Oh my God, I've forgotten what they're called now.
Chia seeds?
Chia seeds.
Chia seeds, yeah.
So chia seeds, I used to do that. And again, I run through periods where I need to, because you've got to let them soak for 15, 20 minutes until you get that out. So I was using those as a protein source. I have actually, I stopped using protein shakes for about 4 or 5 years. I've actually just started using them again.
Okay. Why is that, Class?
Just because I, again, listened to other podcasts and someone saying about getting the amount of protein in. And because I'm fasting, sort of 16 hours a day now, unless I'm at work on days fire brigade, we have breakfast at 11 o'clock, whatever, so I will eat then. But on my normal days, like today, I'll go from here to the gym, and then I'll go and watch my boy play football, and then I probably won't eat till 4 o'clock.
Okay.
So, and then I'll probably have my last meal. We've got football training tonight, get back home about 8 o'clock, and I'll have dinner then. So, I'll probably only eat between 4 and 8. 6-hour window, so 18 hours fast.
Yeah.
So I'll do that quite regularly, 4 or 5 times a week.
So why the shakes to get the
to get the
grams in, or just
exactly that. So if I'm going to the gym and I'm not going to have a solid meal, I'll just literally have that. I'll only take a protein shake after training. I won't just take one just for the sake of it. Yeah. Okay. So it'll only be after training if I know I'm not going to get solid food in straight away.
Right. I mean, I don't use shakes anymore, but it's interesting to see because supplements have come such a long way. Mm-hmm. I remember, I think I was first introduced to supplements probably about 1999, and the only company around here, around at the time that I knew of, was I found a little catalogue in the gym. I was in the military at the time, and someone had left a little booklet, and it's LA Muscle. Do you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Up at Park Rule. And that, so they were about, there was no My Protein, there was no bulk, there was none of these. And it literally was, I remember they used to have packages where they used to sell kind of the Tribulus, the natural, what do you want to call it, test boosters, if you like. And their farmer grade protein, if you like. And that was probably the first kind of time I was exposed to it. And even then, probably about £30 a tub then, but even then, at that time, it was considered quite expensive. Yeah. But obviously now, the choice is unreal of what you want.
And why do you not take it now?
I try to get all my protein from food.
Yeah.
I talk about it I've got Kyle on here, who's a trainer, and I'll talk about, if I was to list my quality proteins, I don't think my shake would make the top 10.
Okay.
If you list tuna, eggs, beef, turkey, mince, all of that. And kind of I just don't see it as, you know, you're giving me a scoop of 30 grams and 20 grams or 21 grams of protein. What's the other 8? What's the other 9?
Yeah.
What am I putting in me?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm just an advocate now of doing stuff that I can sustain. And I want to know what it is. And if, you know, I buy a pack of chicken, I know that I can see it's chicken in there. There's nothing else in there. I couldn't tell you what the ingredients was on the back of apart from the fact it had whey protein in it, probably 80% or 90%. I couldn't tell you what the other things was. It was some sort of artificial flavouring, some sort of artificial colouring. I get why people take it, don't get me wrong, but I feel like, even when I worked in the industry, a long time ago, like 15, 20 years ago, it was called the health and fitness industry. So you'd promote, as a coach, as a trainer, you'd promote in health and fitness. So not only were you trying to get your clients fit, but the stuff that you were kind of getting them to eat was like, you know, veg and chicken and proteins and stuff. I would never have recommended shakes or bars at that stage. But I feel like it's a catch-22 at the moment, because the food industry is basically stumping people with shit food. And almost coaches and PTs are going, go and eat the protein bars. And it's like, well, how are they getting healthier? And it's not sustainable. Like, unless your diet is 95% good and it's coming from veg, fruit.
I think food's definitely always best, isn't it?
Yeah, you can get food.
Your body knows how to
absorb it
and process it. You know, funny enough, the one other thing now you've made me think about it is methylfolate.
Okay.
So I don't know, Gary Brecker that sorted out Dana White.
Okay,
So Dana White was about to have a thing, and he did a blood test on him and said, like, you're going to die in 10.5 years' time.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he used to work for an insurance company. You can Google him, Gary Brecker. You just put Gary Brecker, Dana White, and you see the change in Dana White now.
But his morning routine, he loves the ice baths. And he loves, he's banging through his fasting. I think he's just done a 24, 36 hour water fast. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Because that is how we were evolved to eat. We never ate 6-7 meals a day. We'd kind of make a kill. If it was meat, we'd eat all of the meat, by the way. There's nothing wrong with animal fat. We are good at processing animal fat. What we can't process is processed sugars. Our body's just not used to dealing with processed sugars.
So that's why you store it as fat.
100%. Our body just don't know how to deal with it and all the cancers and stuff that come with it. But fasting, that's how we might make an animal kill and gorge for 2 days or 2 meals, but then not eat on our walk and our travels. You know, might be munching on berries, a fig tree, that kind of stuff. So it's going back to how our body is meant to eat, and I feel like we just we operate better that way. And I started fasting, as I said, it took me like 9-10 months to find the right protocol for me, because there's so much information out there on fasting. You know, 5 and 2, you know, 18-6 or whatever it is, 20 and 4. But I do pretty much the same as you, 18-6 or sometimes 20 hours fasting, 4 hours eating, 2 days a week. That works for me. I ended up doing it around my certain shifts, so I don't have to worry about food. And having young kids, I know you was a little bit older, but having young kids and not having to worry about cooking is brilliant. Because I can basically give my time all to them. So whatever they want to do, I'm not thinking, we got to go out and I've got to be back in an hour because I've got to cook my food. I haven't got to think about carrying Tupperware with me or where I'm going to get anything from. I'm literally free to do whatever they want. You know, wherever he wants to go soft play, he wants to go to the park, whatever he wants to do, he wants to play about. I'm not looking at the clock and I've got to eat. So it's for me,
cooking dinners, you only got to cook one.
Exactly. So then we can have a family meal together in the evening if I'm only, if I'm only eating 1 or 2 meals a day. So I do get it. Also gives your digestive system a break. Sometimes we're eating so much stuff, ain't we? And
that's why you should not. That's why fasting, I think, is so good when you are ill. Don't eat anything because all your energy is going to them fighting off the disease, or whatever whatever your illness is. It's gone to. If you're eating, your body's like using all its energy to fight the disease. I've got to go and use to digest this food now, and I think that's the biggest thing is just giving your digestive system a time to rest, and so all your energies can then go to healing the bits that it needs to.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
And autophagy, where it eats all the, and that's why they think it's good for cancer, because it goes in, all the good cells go and eat the bad cells. So they eat the bad cells up, so you're not so. So
all your cells become more efficient, don't they? Because you're not carrying dead weight.
Exactly that. I mean, I know the worst thing for me is I know everything that I should be. It's finding finding it, and I always say that. I think I said before, like the hardest thing is creating good habits. So I've got certain habits now. The cold plunge I do every day. Those small little exercises I do when I come out of the cold plunge, it's in my head. I have to do that. No matter how battered, I feel like I'll do that. The coffee I pretty much have every day. And the red light's the one I need to get back to doing daily again. But those things I will train every day some way or another.
Okay.
You know, so probably need to get my cardio back up. At the moment, I've got that plantar fasciitis, which is killing me. So the running, which I was doing 3-4 times a week, I can't. It's killing my foot. And I've noticed, yes, I do a built, which is a CrossFit thing, Jade and Sam that go to, but I don't get to that enough. I'm only doing that once, maybe twice a week. No, once every 2 weeks, really, on average. But that's good because you get your cardio out of that without the running.
About the impact on your feet.
Yeah, but what I'm noticing is it's come up around my stomach because that running, my metabolism's slowing down. Although I'm doing lots of things healthier now than I've ever done, that running was obviously just burning those extra calories off all the time. And that's what I've noticed since I haven't been able to run the last 6 months, that I'm not getting rid of that little excess fat there. So whether I've got to change something now, I'm going to go swimming now and see if that, but running was just easy. You could put half an hour, put my trainers on, just go for a run.
Yeah.
Whereas now I've got to either go and, you know, if it's raining, you don't really want to go out on a bike so much, or I've got to go to the gym to get on something to do the cardio, and that's the bit I need to sort of get back on track.
It's good though, because I'm listening to you do a lot of varied stuff, and I think for people out there, especially guys who are struggling, you don't like the gym, you don't like lifting weights, it's not all about lifting weights, it's going out and just doing activity, physical activity, walking, hiking, golf, tennis, I don't know, squash, you know, even getting in your garden and cutting flowers or whatever it may be, just getting out and being active is so important. So the fact that you do running, you know, you do some classes and gym, sometimes you go into the gym, you know, all these different things are really good because your body, one, doesn't get used to one thing. And secondly, you're using different stimulus, if you like.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
Different, and people are engaged and inspired by different things, aren't they? So I would say, listen, find something you like. It hasn't got to be the gym. It hasn't got to be weights, you know, especially we talk about mental health as well, and they both go hand in hand. Yeah. So when you're outside in the fresh air, when you're doing activity, when you're walking, you know, you're gonna release chemicals, hormones, and you're gonna feel better. In return, you're gonna make better decisions. You're gonna feel better about yourself. You're gonna be more positive, and then you're gonna want to do it again. So it's a cycle that can help.
Yeah, totally. I mean, listen, everyone, and there's probably loads of people who do this. I very rarely run in the gym.
Yeah.
Never. I don't see the point in running on a running machine with the same view in front of you, plodding along. The only thing I can see is the gradient thing's good. If you haven't got any hills around you, the gradient thing I think is good. So I walk backwards. I do that knees over toes because I had meniscus tear, and that's really helped. So I put it on a high gradient, and my warm up in the gym is I walk backwards for 5 minutes or 10 minutes actually on a gradient, and that's for the knees over toes, and I use that as my warm up, and you can feel it in your quads. But apart from that, I never used the running machine. You did for boxing, and I would do 3 2-minutes. So with a minute, like a fight would be. So you do 2 minutes, and I would sprint as hard as I could for 2 minutes, 18 kilometres an hour roughly. So for 2 minutes, jump off for a minute, jump back on, and do 3 to 5 rounds of that. Yeah, exactly that. So I used to do that. But apart from that, get outside. Ride your bike outside. Like I see people who I know live in somewhere, get in their car and drive to the gym. Like, unless I'm going off somewhere straight away in the car afterwards, I just get on the bike and ride to the gym. Why not? Or run. I could run to the gym in the summer. I tend to run more. You know, because you're getting a bit of cardio in. It's your warm up to the gym. And then people drive there, then get in their thing. I think, you only live in somewhere. Why aren't you running there? Or at least walk there.
Well, I think a lot
a
lot of it is the mentality of the gym, and I'll talk about this when Carl's on here, is some people get so focused on being active in that 1 hour that they forget about the other 6-7 hours that they're around. If you're more active in that whole period you're awake, 100%. It almost outdoes the 1 hour you're going to do in the gym anyway.
I read things saying exactly that. So there's people that they get in their car, they sit down, they drive to work, they get to their office, they sit down for the whole time at the office. They then do an hour of gym. I think, right, that's it. Done. They then get home, drive home, sitting down, get home, sit on their sofa, watch TV, have their dinner. All that time sitting, 1 hour, you're not sitting.
It just doesn't make sense, does it?
Whereas you look at, say, a cleaner or a farmer or some, like all the centenarians that live in the blue light zones and all that, all have jobs that you're constantly moving. And it doesn't have to be... I was chatting to a couple of blokes at rugby last night, and all the people we knew had lost the most weight, all they did was start walking. I know 3 people who have lost over 5 stone, who are all like 20 odd stone, and all they've done different is walk.
Yeah.
Is
Now,
they've just
I'm
started
a
walking.
massive advocate of walking. One, it's free.
Yeah.
Two, you open your front door, there's a place to walk.
Yeah,
There's a pavement, you know, you don't have to buy a membership, you don't have to join a gym, you can walk. And secondly, you can do it any time of the day.
Yeah.
You can do it with anyone.
And you're outside, you're getting that sunlight.
You're outside,
that's really important.
and also the chance of you getting injured by walking are pretty slim.
Yeah.
Generally, you know, unless you trip over, fall over, or something comes. Generally, we can all walk. It's a natural movement, and you'll be able to do it every day. So it's not like running where you feel like, look, if I haven't run for a while, I'm going to go and do 5K, but then you're going to be sore for 2 days.
Yeah.
You can walk every day.
Yeah.
You know, you've got
to
walk.
build up. You can build up to that one.
Yeah.
Just walk. I mean, I do the park runs when I haven't got football on a Saturday morning. So in the summer, really, when the football season's not on, I do the park run, and I see people walking it. And sometimes I used to think, what are you bothering walking for? Like, just run. It's a run. But I think actually, or at least you're doing it. Yeah. You're out there. You're doing it. You're and maybe you're just building up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that
You don't know how
walk
people
faster and faster. And so then I think actually, fair play to you. There's an old boy I see over there all the time, and he must be definitely in his 80s, and he's sort of a fast walk. I think he's trying to run, but I always, well, mate, keep going. Like, every time I go past him, or he goes past me, and then I'm like, yeah, nice one. And you know, I think good. You know, he's and that, I want to be that. Like the geezer in the Guinness advert, I always say I want to be the geezer swimming. When I'm old, I'm still going to be trying, even if it's not going that fast. I'll still be out there trying, and I think it's a mindset, and creating those habits will stick with you.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the Blue Zones, that's what you're talking about, weren't you?
Yeah.
The thing on Netflix.
Well, I was talking about in general.
Yeah,
I listened to, I think I was on YouTube the other day, and it came up, and I just started watching it, and it was about where the blue zones are and what the things. And the maddest thing, what came up, we're talking about walking, the people that lived in villages which were steep.
Yeah, in Italy, I saw that.
Yeah, so they have to walk up those things.
They're centurions. They're 100 years old, and they're carrying their shopping up.
Yeah, and that's just walking. So it just shows, and it's that walking up that the steepness again.
Yeah, it's just carrying your body weight, isn't it? It's carrying your body weight and being able to manage your body weight. And I think what's really interesting about that as well is it's all natural movements. None of them went to the gym. None of them went to the gym. If you look at all them zones, they were on their feet. They were in their garden. They were squatting their body weight. You know, they were sitting down. They had communities. They had something to get up for. You know, they were doing something in their community, whether that be like a sport or getting together to play games. But they were all natural movements, up and down all day, up and down walking, up and down stairs, up and down. So I mean, these are things that we can do for free.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a trade-off. I think the other thing I've noticed, all the people that live to 100 or old aren't big.
No.
They weren't heavily muscle. They weren't heavily muscle. And I know muscle is good to keep going, but again, you can get too much muscle, and then your body's got to overwork. And it's just like anything. You're just like turning the gas up. You're just burning it out. Yeah. So I think people that take testosterone and all that, I think they look amazing, but they'll look stronger, bigger, more muscular, and they'll be able to do more. But it's almost they're burning their life out quicker. Yeah. Well, so it's on full max.
The fact that you're bigger and you're more muscular is still a massive strain on your heart.
Yeah.
So you are putting your heart under more stress, if you like. So there is a payoff, as you say. There is a balance of where you want to be.
And I think, and just a smaller, it's like a dog. You know, the oldest dogs tend to a big dog, a Great Dane, an Irish Wolfhound. They won't live past 10. Yeah. They won't. But a smaller Mongol, again, a crossbreed.
Is that what you were relating us to? Mongrels, is that what we've come down to?
Small Jack Russell cross. So yeah, like you'll have that, they'll live 15, 16, 17. And again, there's a reason, it's a smaller body to consume. So I do think there's a lot to do with that as well. You know, if you want to live longer, everything natural, and that includes not taking testosterone, not taking supplements, not making your body bigger than it's intended to be. So keep your body the same size and just keep all the organs working. So I think walking and everything's perfect, especially outside in the sunlight. I think there's a huge thing. There's a reason old people move to the sea and move to warm climates where it's sunny every day. I feel it now. I want to go and live
somewhere. I feel you as well.
Because I think you understand. Yeah. As you get older, you actually understand, it's not about chasing money. It's actually what makes me feel good. The sun makes me feel good.
I think we underestimate the power of the sun as well, and what we get from it, not just vitamin D, but when you go on holiday, you know, and you've had 2 weeks in the sun, you're more energetic. you sleep better. And this isn't because you're on holiday and you're not stressing. This is generally where you are. You change your environment.
Yeah.
And people do talk about, oh, I'm a product of my environment, it's my lifestyle. You can, if you really want to change your environment. You can pick yourself up and go somewhere if you really want to, if you want to make it happen. And those habits will change because you'll take on the habits of the people who now do that, who now live on the coast, who now in the daylight spend more time outside. And I think it's so important. Hoopman actually talks about when you're up for the first 10 minutes, try and look at natural light. If you can't, preferably not through a window, but actually go outside and spend time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The first thing I do every morning, put those swimming shorts on and go out and that thing. And
it's getting lighter outside. I've noticed when I'm doing my dips in the morning, it is getting lighter outside. The days are already getting longer.
Talking about that and about the beach and everything, one other thing is grounding. So another thing about grounding.
Yeah, I don't know too much about this actually. You
so I actually ended up taking the mickey out of work. So I literally
plug yourself in.
Yeah, plug myself in. So obviously your plug sockets are earthed, and you can put a thing around you to sleep at night, and it grounds you. So again, you can. There's loads of science. You look it up. There's loads of scientific where they've got people all wired up, and you can literally see their body, the blood changing. So it just flows better. Because we are frequencies. We do have an electromagnetic force around us, don't we? And it shows it, so that works. And the only reason I sort of agree with it is when, say, you talk about, again, relates back to our kids. If I race against my boy running, we have trainers on and we run, he beats me. Right. And my back always feels sore. The lower back, if I sprint hard, I don't run properly. We go to the beach, and I've been on the beach for a couple of hours, and we go up and we sprint into the sea. I'll keep up with him the whole way. And he goes, it's because my feet. But I feel that grounding of being on the sand has drawn all the inflammation and the blood flow out. Because you're positive and a negative, isn't it? And it balances it out basically by grounding. And I just don't have that back pain. So when I run, I run so much freer. Yeah. I can feel my body doesn't ache as I'm running. I feel the difference.
So if you didn't want to get, I don't know too much about grounding, as I said, but I'll read up on it tonight. So if you didn't want to get something to plug yourself in, to wear a strap around your ankle, etc.,
just go out.
Can you do it bare feet on the ground?
That's what you should do.
So what, on soil, on sand, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Obviously tarmac and all that. I'm obviously not going to go through.
It's a man-made. It's a man-made substance. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go through concrete. So.
But natural stone.
Yeah, 100%. If you can get it through that, and that's the best thing to do.
Okay.
I just know that from the beach. Yeah. Actually,
that's interesting.
When I plug myself in my little bit, it's easy because I'm asleep and I just put it round my thing. Again, something I was doing a lot. I was doing the red light, coming in, putting that on, and people think, "Oh God, wait, you weirdo, you're doing all this stuff." But the plugging in, I don't know, has it made a difference? Not sure. I need to go back on and probably try again now for the next 2 or 3 weeks and see if I notice any difference with the aches and pains. But definitely on the beach, 100% I notice it.
Okay. I'm going to have a go on that. Actually.
Yeah, have a look.
Read up on that.
I definitely, and again, back to what you said, it's free.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, if you just go out on your bare feet, at home I'm always barefoot. So
I'll try and be barefoot.
For the whole reason of walking about.
And even the kids as well, actually, because he's only 1.5. I try not to put him in shoes as much as I can. Just because you start straight away constricting the way they're... the shoes are generic shape, aren't they? They're not bespoke per foot.
Totally.
Especially kids while they're growing.
I got the Vivo barefoot.
Okay,
I've tried them.
Is that the 5-toe?
Yes.
Separate.
Well, exactly. Yeah. You can put the barefoot. So they do like it look like a normal shoe in training now. Yeah. And it's just that they just basically haven't got any bounce in them. Okay. They're flat. So they bend to your foot. But I did find when you try and run on them, it takes a long time for your body. My Achilles and all that were really tight. So I did stop using that. But I think it's a thing.
Do you reckon that's because we've been so used 100%. To being in shoes?
Exactly.
So now your body can't function properly as it's meant to be. Yeah,
exactly
without the assistance.
Exactly that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, there's a lot of people, you see people in the gym taking it to barefoot when they do squats, deadlifting, and that's the same reason. So those Vivo barefoot are good. Probably should be using the gym and build it up. But I did notice when I tried to run in them, like my calves were going really tight straight away. But if you've got a kid, like I say, I've done well with my two, I think, sporty-wise, but even now I know more things. But when you used to tell your kid to stop climbing on things,
keep
let them climb, let them build those joints up, because we tell them to stop, don't run here. Run. Like, let them run rogue. Like, do you know what I mean? That's the only bad thing about living in a city. I think if you lived by the beach or you lived in the country, You can let your
have more
kids
freedom. More freedom. Yeah. I think you want them to grow up with no fear, but then you can't constantly around them all they hear is slow down, don't do that.
Yeah,
slow down, don't do that. You know, that hurts. Don't put your finger there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's difficult because you want them to be safe, but you also want them to have.
I think living in a city is harder because you can't just run around. There's cars everywhere, people getting knocked down. Like there is that thing. That's what I mean. I think if there's a big advantage to growing up in the country, is you can just let your kids be bored, go and run in a field, get up to all kinds, climb trees, all that stuff. Whereas I think in the city it's different. You've got more things open to you, but they're not so much natural things.
Also, I think the parents, the type of people when we live in the city, are busier as well.
Yeah.
So you seem to be, that is the screen generation, isn't it? Well, I need 10 minutes, have a screen. I need 10 minutes, watch the iPad, watch TV. Look, it ain't going to be forever. Do you know what I mean? That you invest your time in these little beings.
No.
And they are the ones who are going to invest it back in you.
Yeah,
so, totally. You've only got a certain period of time. I always say, listen, there's only a certain period of time that they're going to want to hang out with daddy.
Yeah.
And mummy for a certain amount of years, and after that their friends become more of an influence.
Totally.
And hopefully they'll come back to you when they're older.
Yeah.
But there'll be a period where it's not cool anymore.
When they need some money.
When they're back, when they need daddy bank. But yeah, there'll be a time when they want to do when they want to hang out with their mates and they don't want mummy or daddy to walk them to school or wrestle with them on the floor. Yeah. So you've got to kind of embrace that and enjoy that time when you've got it.
100%. 100%.
Make it count. But thank you very much, Greg, for coming in today. There's some really good tips there. As Greg talked about grounding, that's something that I'm actually going to go research and find out a bit more about that I didn't know anything about. But yeah, you can see Greg, some of the tips he uses. He's 51. One thing I was going to ask you actually, someone who's not been active possibly since COVID. I'll talk about COVID because I think that had a massive impact on the way that people are active in this in this country. It closed down so many small clubs, so many different sports clubs, so many social areas where people haven't restarted and haven't been able to restart. So for me, a combat sport would seem quite daunting to go into, but it also has a lot of pluses. Yeah. What would you say to someone, say a fella, 45, 50 years old, sitting on the sofa, used to have a mindset, used to play sport when he was younger, hasn't got it anymore, but looks at boxing and thinks, yeah, actually, I might fancy that. I think it'd be a real good stress reliever. Hitting the pads, hitting the bag. Is it daunting? What would you say to someone thinking about getting into boxing just to keep fit as a fitness?
I think when you're younger, it's probably more daunting because in some ways you worry what people think about, like I said at the beginning. Okay. Whereas I think when you're older and you learn, you understand, you grow up a bit more, you think actually it doesn't really matter. So just go along to your local club, definitely. There's loads of boxing clubs around it. Since UFC and MMA basically have come in the last 10, 15, 20 years, boxing is now, it's not seen as so brutal. So now there is a lot of boxing clubs. So go along. There's 3 levels for me for boxing. One is going along and hitting the pads and hitting the bag, which anyone can do. Doesn't matter what level you're at. You pay your subs and you just go and hit the bag and hit the pads. Second level is getting in, actually sparring, being punched in the face, punching someone in the face. And then your third level, you want to say you've done boxing properly, is to actually have a fight with a proper referee, in front of a crowd who you don't know.
So there is an opportunity to say someone who's sitting down who wants to just get fit, dip their toe in the water, and not necessarily have a one-on-one fight. No,
you don't have to. Like there's most of the clubs will have like what their boxing clubs are called keep fitters. So they'll go in there to get fit, hit the bag. Listen, they want your money, so they're going to let you join. They're going to take you on board, and if you can learn the basics. I do one-to-ones and I've done loads of one-to-ones with people for exactly that reason. They wanted to get fitter. They like the idea of boxing. Some of them have felt, I might have a white collar fight, and I've just taught them the basics, took them a minute, and they've loved it. And then they've gone on. In fact, out of I'd say 50% of them have gone on and had a white collar fight. Okay. And then come back to me and they've gone to their club and then I've been doing a one-to-one with them and that, so technically getting better. So yeah, it's all available out there, but definitely 100%. Go to the boxing club and do that, whatever, and jiu-jitsu is another really good one. The MMA club, like I say, Tony Newman's is down the road. There's loads of clubs around here, but something like jiu-jitsu, judo, they've got some of the best places down in Camberley. I think the Team GB squad go there. And again, with that,
contact,
but also you're not getting punched in the face. So, and as soon as you're in an armbar or something like, you tap. Okay. So you shouldn't get injured.
Okay. So you've got control. You've got much more
control. and you're using your core. That's really good. I think jiu-jitsu, stuff like that, brilliant for things
I'm
like
actually
that.
getting someone on there who does jiu-jitsu at the moment because he's due in a couple of weeks, so he can give us a bit more info. But that's great listening to Greg there. So if you are stuck in a rut, maybe you just want to improve your mental mindset as well. And that's a great stress reliever. Getting in there and hitting some pads, physically hitting something, hitting a bag. Do you know what I mean? And the walking and the running is not doing it for you, and you don't want to pound the pavement. You'd rather go in there, see where it takes you. And all I'll say is, listen, don't overthink, don't analyse, don't overanalyze. Just commit. Just find your local club, ring them up, or better still, just pop down there and go and have a free session if they do a free session, or try a session out and see what that leads you.
The one little saying that I always stick is, even when I say it in my own, like the old Nike advert, just do it.
Just do it, yeah.
Just do it. It's the simplest thing to say, just do it.
Yeah, don't overthink it, just commit and just do it. Thank you very much, Greg. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we look forward to the next one.